this is Joe Castiglione, and you're listening to Not Another Sox Podcast. Can you believe it?
Yankees suck! Yankees suck!
Buenos noches, amigos, and welcome to another episode of Not Another Sox Podcast. I am Jack Webster, here with our producer, Ian Doran, coming at you live from Providence, Rhode Island. Fellas, the season's over.
Oh, yeah, we blew it.
We blew it.
It was a really rough week of baseball, though. I haven't seen us play that bad since, like, June.
Yeah, not fun, but, oh, man, when those means average out to the regression,
Yikes. Yeah, regressing to the mean's not going to be super cool, especially right now, but you only have to play 500 to get a wild card spot.
Honestly, at this point, you don't even really have to be 500 to get a wild card spot, because everybody else fucking sucks.
What a bar.
Yeah.
What a fucking bar. If only the Red Sox could do that.
Yeah, and for a long time, we weren't even doing that.
No.
And then even over this last week, I believe it was our friend Justin MLB pointed out, we gained ground in the wild card hunt from the bottom spot.
We truthfully did. I'm
Yeah.
kind of crazy about that.
I know.
Big fan.
Hey, all that cushioning that you did with that other 9-game win streak is really paying off right now. I don't think anybody serious is worried quite yet.
No.
There's no reason to be worried. The people that are worried, I'm convinced it might be their first season of baseball because
are you
this
saying-
happens every year. This happens to every team every year. This is just the ebbs and flows of a baseball season, and you're going to have stretches where you lose games against bad teams even, and you're going to have stretches where we sweep the Dodgers, and it's the same fucking team.
Yeah. Are you saying Faceless Ortiz Fan 34 account isn't a serious Red Sox account?
I know. And it's people that I know that have seen this same play over and over again freak out. I'm like, are you a dog? Are you a goldfish? Is your memory just this bad?
You can say Dr. Jim.
Yeah, I can just say Dr. Jim.
You can
yeah.
say Dr. Jim.
I almost respect the troll because he does get the people riled up, and that's exactly what he's looking to do.
Yeah, him and Maz, Tony Maz
No, Maz is the master of it.
is the Mazster.
Oh man.
See what I did there? It was Steve Sachs, by the way, was the baseball player in Simpsons at the Bat that was framed for every single unsolved murder in New York City.
Oh, okay. I was
Yeah.
worried about it. Yeah.
Yeah. But anyway, back to baseball. Bayo opener tonight, as we're recording this, Bayo opener didn't give up too much.
No, and Brian Bayo is coming into the game as we speak. So we'll try not to do full play-by-play because we know by the time you're listening tomorrow, half of this is not even going to matter. But that's okay.
I hope the Red
Yeah.
Soxes win. Big exciting week. Shit for shit butt ass Blue Jays series. You made a pilgrimage to Pittsburgh for, I guess, the only reason I knew one would ever go to Pittsburgh this week. Must have been really exciting. Had a lot of IL stints come up this week. We have a lot of rehabs coming up this week. And we have a lot of guys tearing the cover off the ball in Worcester. So just so much to talk about.
Yeah. Now, obviously, a bit of a disappointing week.
A bit?
Yeah.
1-5, that's a bit of a disappointment.
2-5. 2-5.
That's still less than half.
Yeah, that's still not good.
Yeah, no, it's pretty bad.
No, but it's not gonna kill you either. It would have been bad if we went 0-7. I might actually be freaking out a little bit
If
in
we
that
went
case.
0-7.
Yeah, and there were some close games in there. We had so many fake comebacks in that Blue Jays series, which I'm sure we'll get to. But yeah, you probably should have at least split the Blue Jays series, and you definitely should have won the Pirates series. And now, we're back at Fenway. We'll get to that, at the end of the episode, who we're facing this week and everything. But in terms of worst weeks, we have had so many worse weeks this season.
Yeah.
Where we've just embarrassed and pissed and shit ourselves down our pants. And it wasn't even quite to that degree since even on that game on Monday, well, that was a little bit of a shit show because
a little, yeah.
We apparently rely on the scoreboard now.
This was the most insane 10 minutes
Let's
of
get
reality
into this.
TV.
This is the really only thing I want to talk about this game, other than maybe Sonny Gray because he was good. But
Right.
just the classic 45-minute delay just to check the rule book during the game. It was maybe the longest I've ever just seen a game paused where like somebody literally wasn't murdered on the field.
Right. It's to me, it seemed like they pulled off like the oldest book on the bookshelf, went to the very last page, and then like blew the dust off of it, and they're like, here, the fourth out rule, as it were. Why did it take 45 minutes to tell us that the guy beat the play home?
Yeah, well, the Red Sox thought that there was already 2 outs in the inning when they had runners on first and third, because the scoreboard in center field said that there was 2 outs because a line drive was recorded as a double play that wasn't actually a double play. So runners were on first and third. Sack fly happens to center field, but instead of a normal sack fly, everybody just starts running. Yeah, like, kind of like it would be with 2 outs, which is extremely unexcusable on our end. Apparently, even Chad...
You know how you learn to count, right?
Yeah, you know. 1, 2, 3.
1,
2.
Fuck. What comes after that? What comes after 1?
Even apparently Chad Epperson told Siegler on third base that there was only 1 out and to be ready for a sack fly. So even worse. Like, even
wait, Chad Epperson did tell them, yes, there's 1 out?
Yeah.
Wow.
So center fielder catches it. Siegler comes home, and then they double off Nick Sogard at first base. And then Blue Jays clear the field. And then after that, there was the whole delay where they're talking about what happened. It's never a good sign when they just talk to one guy and then they talk to the other guy for 30 minutes, or like in this case, like 10 minutes, and then they go to the rule book and it's another 15 minutes to decide what actually happens or who scores or not. But basically, I'm going to try to do my best to explain this. I'm obviously not an expert. I don't even think the umpires were experts, because it's never a good sign when the umpire has to come on. He's like, okay, basically, I have no idea. Like, well, let's just go ahead and check on this. But the run did score because they did not appeal to third base. So they didn't have an opportunity to say that Siegler would have been out. And once the players clear the field, they lose the right to appeal that. And because there was already the third out at first base, that the inning was over after that, so they wouldn't have been able to get the 4th out, even though Siegler should have been out if they were able to tag at third base. So I'm not even 100% sure why that run does count, but it does for some reason. So would have been really cool if we came back and won that game by 1 run, but it really actually did not end up mattering at the end of the day because we lost 2-1 anyways.
Wouldn't it have been better for all of us if they just didn't do that? I don't care about this shitty run. We still lost.
I know. I think it kind of hurt us in the end. It took away any momentum, but we did not did not deserve that run. I'm just gonna say that if I was on the other side and that happened to the Blue Jays,
like if you were John Schneider,
I would be furious because that should not count. That's stupid. Baseball's sometimes stupid. We see something, where been watching this game our entire lives, and we still have situations that still pop up like that somehow.
Even in Sox booth, Fleming and Middlebrooks, I think, were up there that night, and they were like, what's going on? Why are we stopping play? What is this? What is the 4th out? What is that?
And imagine back in the day before the umpires had like the microphones for the arena, or like they could actually explain some of the stuff. People would just been like, I guess we're figuring this out after the game of what happened or may have not happened. So
which is, I mean, umps did come out and they were kind of like, hey, we don't really have any fucking idea what's going on. But at the same time, one of the umps did come out and he was like, wait a minute, I think that's a rule.
Yeah.
Let's take a look at that. And then obviously, we ended up getting the run, but it is the most bizarre 45 minutes of rule check I have ever seen in baseball, I think ever.
Yep. Sox lose 2-1.
Yeah, glad that run ended up meaning something. After all of the legal battles in New York appealing to the center, Yovani Moran's out there throwing every single pitch he can as many times as possible, and you lose. That being said, I have been quite happy with bless you with Giovanni Moran lately. He's good.
Yeah,
good.
yeah.
He's
And
good.
Sonny Gray, rare loss for him. He is, well, after this week, 15-3,
which is his personal record.
yeah.
by the way.
It's very funny that he got tagged with a tough luck loss in this one. He went
Right.
6 innings, 2 runs, ERA, under 3, and yeah, Bats should have done something that game. So unfortunate, but.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I was saying before we
And
started.
I
the
believe we had a
episode-
leader double in the ninth that we didn't score either.
Yeah,
which
we.
was a
I'm
suck.
shocker. Yeah.
well, yeah.
I think there was Monasterio let it off too.
I think it was maybe even Duran.
No, come
Yeah,
on.
I know.
No,
Yeah.
really. I was talking. I know I said before we started. I was talking to my dad the other day, and I was like, "Yeah, this guy Sonny Gray, he's been really fantastic for us." And my dad's like, "Yeah, he doesn't have a lot of gas though, right? He's not throwing too many pitches." I was like, "Yeah, but he's really efficient." You know what I mean? Like, he's getting out of innings within 15 pitches. He's had like a few blow-ups this year, maybe 1 or 2, but like, I don't know. Sonny Gray has been efficient in his outings. Even if he's only going 6 innings, he's going 80 to 85 pitches, and he's giving you quality starts. I'm so happy with the Sonny Gray trade.
Yeah, this is a guy that just like knows how to pitch.
Yeah.
And well, I can even jump ahead to the game on Saturday where he was excellent. He got into the one jam in the 5th inning, but he knew how to work out of it because
Yeah.
that's just the veteran pitcher in him. He's really getting a bit more strikeouts nowadays. It's not like he's even like the 10K per 9 guy that he was the last few years even, but he's really making it work. He's keeping the ball in the park. The defense is helping him a lot behind him, which was, the design for Sonny Gray.
Right.
And, yeah, like this is, what we envisioned. Because he is a bit more of a fly ball pitcher, and with their outfield, that's going to help you out a lot.
Yep.
So, very happy with that trade. Don't care about Brandon Clark, even though he throws hard, but he just has no idea
He's
where it's
injured
going.
now, I think, isn't he?
He's back now. Dick Fitz is hurt for the year, though. I did not care about Dick Fitz whatsoever. At one point I did, but not anymore. Like
Yeah.
Dick Fitz would have not thrown a single inning for this team.
It's spilled
other
milk.
than like
it's
Alec-
spilled milk to me that
Yeah.
Dick Fitz isn't with us. Sure, would have loved to have him, but like I'm not going to cry over losing that.
Yeah, and I would love if we, were able to keep Sonny Gray for next year, maybe even beyond that. I think he's a perfect guy for Boston. He definitely is super involved with all of our young pitchers as well. Great mentor.
Yeah.
So
Great
I
leader.
would
Yeah.
love to have him back for next year, and I'm sure the feeling is mutual from him. So that's something to explore in the off season. You
For
don't
sure.
have to right now. It's not like I think there's some weird mutual option type
Yeah,
of bullshit, but it's like
I'm
one of those
not-
things where it's like it's so unlikely to happen. I don't know the exact logistics, so I'm sure they'll figure out some happy medium grounder. I'm sure the Red Sox will get another great pitcher in whatever their plan is. I feel confident in whatever dudes that they're gonna get at this point.
Yeah. I would look it up right now, but I just don't.
I wouldn't.
care.
Let's worry about that later.
Yeah, it seems really too complex. But if we're talking about like pitchers that could have been in Boston and spilt milk, may be worth crying over. We played against Soriano in the Blue Jays series, who Blue Jays just acquired at the trade deadline
for some
after-
reason.
Yeah, after offloading Kevin Gosman. But I can see why they acquired Soriano, because he is good.
Yeah,
and
he's
they
under
paid-
control for a bit.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and
I think
they paid
another
almost
2 years
nothing
after
for
this.
him.
No, they did give up some pretty good prospects, so it's not
Sure.
like that's the other thing. It's not even like you're retooling for like prospects. They just wanted to essentially get something to show their fans that they're trying. And you know what? I
Sure.
think they're even in a playoff spot because, like we have said, the AL is fucking poopy right now.
Yeah. Yeah.
They're under 500 in a playoff spot. I believe 4 teams in the wild card are 4 teams in the AL East are in a playoff spot right now.
Which two are not?
What do you mean, which one? I believe it's
Is it a 5-person or 6-person?
it's a 5-person.
It is 5.
Yeah.
What am I thinking of?
I have no idea.
Hold on.
Yeah.
Red Sox, Yankees, Blue Jays, Rays, Orioles.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's 5. That's what I'm
Wow.
saying, dude. I've been saying it's 5.
Oh, great podcasting right here.
yeah, thank you. It's
Um,
the Orioles are not in it, if I were to guess.
It's actually the Blue Jays right now, so I was wrong on that, but they're pretty much right there, or they're tied or some bullshit. That's not my problem right now, though. So
Sure.
yeah.
But Soriano is a guy that the Red Sox looked at in the offseason, couldn't get, looked at the trade deadline, couldn't get,
Yeah.
and then embarrassed us at Toronto, Canada Ballpark Incorporated.
Yeah.
Did that hurt to see that?
A bit, yeah.
Do you wish we'd gotten him at the deadline?
Apparently we had some interest in him last offseason even, so I'm sure there was some discussions about it this year since the Red Sox were looking for a starting pitcher, but I don't think they were looking to use a lot of their capital on that. They're obviously looking to use a lot of their top prospects for, either a catcher or shortstop, so
Right.
maybe there could have been some type of package deal with Neto in there, but I don't think they were looking to, include a guy like Franklin Arias in that, so you wouldn't have been able to get Adley and Jose Soriano, unless if you're getting real creative. But I was hoping for maybe somebody else, but that's fine too.
Yeah, our pitching depth is probably kind of a fraying line right now, right? We're reaching the end of the rope with what pitching depth that we have. Soriano would have been nice, but again, I think you're absolutely right. We threw the kitchen sink at Adley, and I think that was the right fucking move.
Even with some early struggles, I'm not worried right now.
How do you feel about people booing Adley Rutschman after what, 10 games?
I know he hasn't even played it, or today is his first game at Fenway, I believe. But he's coming off the injured list. Like, it's gonna take him some time to get back in. And the same stretch happened with like Wilson Contreras like a week or two ago, where like they're like, oh my god, he's awful during these 20 at bats,
and they booed him too. Like,
Again,
what?
Again, this is just such a small sample size. These things happen to every player throughout the course of a season. Adley's gonna be fine. Obviously, you get more out of Adley than even just the bat when it comes to the glove
Right.
and the leadership, and even just having that presence in the middle of the lineup.
Also, total dude.
Yeah, total dude. Yeah,
total fucking dude.
So, and you have him for next year too. Adley's gonna help us not only get to October, but in October, I am not worried about him whatsoever.
I have a lot of faith in him.
Yeah, there's other problems on this team I'm more worried about.
Right.
Yeah.
And as far as Wilson Contreras goes, right, like Chad was talking about him on in the Sox booth the other day. He was like, hey, for everyone booing Contreras, reminder, he got hit in the head with a baseball and had a concussion check on that.
Yeah.
He got hit in the hand with a baseball.
He was sick.
He's been limping, and he ate the Taco Bell lettuce.
Yeah, he has been shitting his whole ass this week. Every single at bat, he just goes in and poops himself, and you expect him to hit a home run.
Yeah.
And then sometimes he do even.
Yeah. And while he poo himself.
While he poo himself.
He does the big grunt muscle release, and that comes with a home run and a side of poopy.
Oh, man. Yeah. This is the content that you're only getting on Not Another
Sox Podcast.
Play Tessie is not talking
They're
about
not
pooping their
making
pants
poop
at all.
jokes.
They might be. I don't know.
I don't know. They might be. I don't think they are, though. Only over here.
It's very possible, but they are actually radio folk. Like, they have higher standards than us, which good for them.
What, they have higher standards than poopy? Than Wilson Contreras make poopy home run poopy?
Yeah.
Why?
He shit his whole fart butt.
Yeah, man,
Yeah.
you said it. But while we're in the Blue Jays series, like, other good things happened. We got to Dylan Cease, and then we didn't get to their shit-ass bullpen. They called out Varland at the end of that game in particular to close it out. Why do you think the Sox remembered and got to Cease and then just fell flat on their poopy asses for the bullpen?
Yeah. Well, I was a bit worried coming into this game, especially after what he did to us, 2 weeks
What
ago even?
happened?
Yeah. We don't need to talk about that. But I think getting, a second look at him after, only that 2 weeks did help us. Like, you instead of facing a guy second 2, 3, 4 times in a game, now this is essentially still fresh for you. It's your 5th, 6th, or 7th time actually, going up against him. So I think that definitely helped a bit. Patrick Sandoval was all right this game. 6 innings, 8 hits, 4 runs, only 2 of them earned, a few walks, only a few Ks. So we'll get to the start later this week, but you'll take that even against as your 5th starter It's not great. It's not bad though either. It kept you in that game. So it was again kind of the bats that put us down. Since tagging 3 against a guy like Dylan Cease over the course of 5 innings. Not a lot of teams have been able to do that.
Actually,
this year.
that's pretty good.
Yeah, you wish that you're able to get to the rest of their bullpen, especially since they had Luis Varland not even pitching because he pitched the night before against you. So you really had an opportunity to win this game still. There was a lot of times where we didn't cash in with runners in scoring position. Big surprise. So... it was another frustrating game. I believe our friend Tim Healy pointed this out. Every game over the course of like 5 or 6 games, or the losing streak that we had, we brought the tying run up to the 9th inning, being able to tie the game, and we did not do it a single time. So, Tim?
Well put by you, man. You nailed it.
Yeah.
Tim Healy, also total dude.
Yeah, total
Big
dude,
fan.
yeah.
Big fan. Really, really rough Blue Jays series all around, except Peyton Tolley, I think, had a pretty stellar start in the Blue Jays series. To only take 1 game from the Blue Jays, I mean, you took a, 6-0 or 6-1, which is great, but I can't believe you only took 1 game from them. Like, Vlad has been one of the worst hitters ever since getting his $500 million extension or whatever it was. He's been awful. And George Springer has kind of regressed to the mean a bit there. Like, I was disappointed to not take at least 2. I'm glad you won the one that you did, and I'm glad Peyton Tolley is still showing up and being a fucking menace to society. Big fan. Big fan.
Yeah, if you went 2-2, you would have just moved on with this series, and then the Athletics and the Pirates series doesn't seem quite as bad either now, because now you have like the 3 series that you've lost in a row compared to the 9 that we won or 10 in a row that we won before that. So you got to keep the big perspective on this type of stuff. But yeah, very glad that we did not get swept by the Blue Jays. That would have really put the vibes.
Yeah.
I think
in the toilet.
Not in the toilet even, but just down. Because you can live with losing series if you're the Red Sox right now because you're in a comfortable spot at least. And, sometimes that's all you need to do is just tread water a bit. And that's what this team wasn't doing earlier on this season. They were just losing full series, getting swept. Losing 2 out of 3 to the Rockies even is about as low as you're going to be this entire season. Being able to, have... Yeah, thank you.
Because they're stupid. You're welcome.
But yeah, Peyton Tolley developing into an ace right before our eyes right now.
Blossoming.
Yeah, it just unbelievable this game. I mean, game before last week, 6 shutty with 14 Ks. Not as much swing and miss, but I mean, when you can go 8 innings, only 2 hits, only 2 walks in there, and I believe it was like the last 15 guys in a row that he put down in order.
That he put down.
Yeah, he was literally, he was putting them down like a canine. Yeah. Sorry, Petey.
Yeah, he took all of them to McDonald's and then he put them down.
Yeah.
I wish Chad had given him the 9th inning. I get why he didn't do that, but it would have been really nice to give him the 9th inning.
Yeah, it's one of those lose the battle, win the war type of situations.
Right.
Since I would rather have him throw an extra inning in October than I would in a random game in the middle of August. You know? Like, you are going to have to pick and choose your battles down the stretch here. And we're even seeing, Bennett get pushed back, and I'm sure they're going to work in more days for Tolley as well. So it's a pseudo 6-man rotation right now, especially with Brian Bayo being a bulk guy in there, since you do have an opener for him
Best
now.
reliever in baseball.
Glad they're just keeping with that.
Yeah, it's working.
It's working. But yeah, Peyton Tolley, I know it's probably going to be McGonigal for Rookie of the Year, but Peyton Tolley should be second, and I believe that does give us a draft pick. So that would be very cool.
It would be. I think you can kind of put Bennett in that conversation too. Like, he's fallen off a little bit right now, but what was it, 10 starts in a row that Bennett gave you a quality start? So Bennett's been fantastic. I think Peyton Tolley is in the Rookie of the Year conversation, pretty bar none. He's been really, really good. I'm trying to think of the other rookies on this team, but I don't think we have any other rookies on this team.
Yeah, I don't think so. Siegler, I believe, qualifies as a rookie, but he's not going to be
No.
in that race at all.
He's been good, but
Yeah,
happy with
yeah,
him.
no, he's been okay.
Vibes.
Ups and downs. He's not supposed to be our savior or everyday
Yeah.
guy. Once everybody's healthy, which I'm sure we'll get to in the second
Yeah,
half of
that's
this
gonna be
episode
very
with all the
eventful.
health updates. So he's been a very serviceable guy. Glad that we got him back in that trade. I don't even care if David Hamilton has a higher F4. Anthony Siegler makes a whole lot more sense for the Red Sox right now.
I love me some David Hamilton, but you know what? Had to be done. Again, spilled milk. Like, not going to cry over David Hamilton. As far as a playoff rotation goes, you're looking at like 3 guys to start consistently. Right now, is that Sonny Gray, Ranger Suarez, and Peyton Tolley? Is he your 3rd starter?
I think so, yeah.
He looks that good.
And I think you also have to keep in the back of your mind, like, this is the guy that you're going to be counting on the next few years. I know you obviously want to put out the best, rotation in the playoffs, and Payne Tolley probably is your best option too, but I want Tolley to get more of a taste than whatever the inning that he maybe did in the wild card series last year. I want Payne Tolley full energy, hopefully at Fenway Park. Who knows? Maybe we even still win the division because this season's
that'd
wild,
be
but it's starting to slip away a
cool.
little bit. But yeah, I want to see Payne Tolley in the playoffs, even if it's only for 75 pitches, even if you do have to limit him a bit, and you do have your super rotation or super bullpen, I should say, and hopefully everybody's back from there, which we'll talk about, some of the injuries that happened this week too. But he is built for this. He is your guy moving forward. Love Jake Bennett too. Jake Bennett, I think, is a guy that you can pencil in your rotation for next year even. And I think, he probably does have a spot even on the playoff roster and some type of bulk grill. We'll see what happens with Garrett Crochet too. Not even a guarantee he's necessarily coming back. We'll see.
Right.
But right now, when you have multiple options like that, at least you feel better about yourself.
I agree, and I would love, my heart would flutter and light up if we do get Crochet back in Crochet mode, and game 1 was 4 innings of Sonny, 2 innings of Garrett Crochet, and then whoever else is following that.
Yeah.
Like, that's a really, really solid first 6 innings in a playoff run. Suarez has great playoff
I actually wouldn't be
numbers.
surprised if Suarez was even the number 1, just given his playoff success.
I mean, that's a really great point.
I think it also depends on, if we lock up a playoff spot with like a week to go,
Yeah.
because I'm hoping that we have another Jose De Leon situation, game 162, and we're
Raymond
able.
Burgos,
Yeah,
come on down.
Literally, yes. Literally, thank you, Raymond Burgos, for pitching game 162. We're calling it right now.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Burgos.
You with your rubber arm.
Do you know a
Yeah.
Burgos enjoyer?
Of course I know him. He's me.
He is me. I thought you were
He's
Seth
me
Martinez
and you
enjoyer.
and all of us.
You know what? I'm calling it now. Raymond Burgos starting game 1
Yeah.
of the wild card. I don't know who else would.
We're not aiming for the wild card.
I like the Ranger call. I think because you go lefty, righty, lefty, Ranger, Sonny, Tolley. Something to talk about a bit more down the stretch, but your rotation looks good, and Tolley is definitely slotting into what has been a really, really stellar rotation.
Yeah, absolutely. And before we head to commercial break here, I want to show off the fit check, and this is going to be a great transition, as they say in the industry.
Yeah. Industry.
Since
Sure.
got to do a little visit to Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania today for the only reason you would ever visit Pittsburgh to see the Pirates. But obviously I knew that there was going to be a lot of Roberto Clemente stuff, but oh my God, this is God in that city. Like, so we got a little Puerto Rico here. We got the Clemente on the back, of course. But we'll get to, the trip here after the break. But got a little Centrus hat from the Roberto Clemente Museum, the team that he played for in Puerto Rico during the offseason. So, not to, toot my own horn for this, but
a find.
last week, me and my fiance Christy, we found this bar cart on the street that somebody was just getting rid of on Facebook, sold it, and then used that exact money to buy this hat. So this hat was free, basically.
Wow.
Yeah,
That's-
free hat. Can we're gonna add that to the soundboard.
The free hat
Yeah,
sound?
we'll get rid of the football is life one. You know, I'm sure we'll talk about it with my beloved Aston Villa this season, or we can get rid of one of the other ones, or we'll just add more sounds. But thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome. No, I added that for this soccer episode, which I quite enjoyed. You know,
It was
listeners
fun.
go
Yeah,
listen to that.
I am truly giving soccer a chance. I have been playing a lot of FIFA.
Yeah.
I watched
SAV.
one of the games against PSG. Yeah, and I feel like I'm getting some merch. It's coming in the mail. I'm very excited to be the little
Loyal
footy.
fan. The little footy on the tube. Well, we'll get ourselves ready for commercial. I mean, I can see why Clemente would be so revered in Pittsburgh. Thank you to the Believe Network. Like, comment, subscribe, follow us on
Or
Spotify,
else.
Apple Music, or else. Twitter too. That's a good one. Jack,
Hey, we scored 2 runs.
who are we cutting to on the commercial
Yeah.
today, Jack?
We are cutting to PNC, the sponsor of everything Pittsburgh.
Okay, pal. Let's go to PNC, the sponsor of everything Pittsburgh.
Pittsburgh, we're PNC.
Why? If there's one thing you do consistently well, it's pulling a commercial out of thin air.
Yeah.
Like PNC Pittsburgh. I thought you were gonna go like traffic cones or orange soda.
Oh, we'll get to that. We got some
Got a
new
little
trinkets
traffic
here.
cones.
Yeah. Pittsburgh, very fun though. We went with a lot of our Twitter friends.
You
You know,
talk to strangers on the internet.
I know. Yeah. A lot of fun though. We stayed at a pretty cool Airbnb, multi-level. Alcoholic drinks were consumed.
Yeah, on how many of the days?
Oh man, yeah. But we got to visit. We got to visit a few museums. We went to the Heinz Ketchup Museum, and it turns out they had a lot more than just ketchup there. Like, they had just exhibits on a lot of other Pittsburgh sports, and they had one on, like, slavery. So you could learn about slavery and ketchup in one museum.
Slavery?
And then
At the ketchup
yeah,
museum?
and then you could also learn about Roberto Clemente, and you could also learn about how glass is made too. So it's one museum for everything, and it's under just one roof. It was very interesting.
I have so many questions.
I made a hole-in-one in golf, and the little putt-putt thing that they had there.
I'm sorry. And the what that they had at the museum? Was
yeah.
this before or after the slavery exhibit?
This was before the slavery.
Oh, but after the glass exhibit?
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah, actually,
okay.
yes. Yeah.
Okay, great. This is a maze that I will never, ever make it out of. I would think that's just the entirety of Pittsburgh, but no, it's only the Ketchup Museum?
Yeah, since Heinz is also very huge in Pittsburgh. It's Heinz and PNC. It's one of the two that's sponsoring everything there.
Wasn't Heinz the former chief baseball officer of the Red Sox?
Oh, yes, Heinz, yeah.
Thank you.
Heinz Bloom.
Great joke. Give me money or don't.
Heinz Fruit of the Loom.
Heinz Fruit of the Blooms. But anyway, so I love that you enjoyed the ketchup glass slavery Pittsburgh
Went to
Museum.
the Andy Warhol Museum, too.
Sure.
That was fun. I didn't really know too much about him, but very interesting. And I got a cool deck of cards there that have a bunch of tattoo stuff
Did
and
you see
logos
the
on.
soup can?
They didn't have the soup can
What the
one.
fuck?
Yeah,
That's
they had other soup can ones. I believe the soup can one it might be at the Mona.
Okay. At the Mona?
Yeah,
You mean the MoMA?
MoMA.
Why?
The
What
Andrew
are you thinking
Monastery.
about?
It's at the Andrew Monastery.
Andrew Monasterio
Yeah.
has heisted the soup can picture from the
Yeah.
Warhol Museum.
Yeah.
I'm leaving here with something.
Yeah.
glad
And
you had
then
a good time.
obviously we went to the Roberto Clemente Museum, and that one obviously being a bunch of baseball fans like we were was so much fun. It was in an old firehouse, which was also very interesting.
Okay.
So
Why
the
a
layout
firehouse?
because it's just some random
Just
dude who
cool?
made it. Yeah, like he just bought an old abandoned firehouse and turned it into a museum, and he's probably making money off of it. $21 admission, very fitting for Roberto Clemente. But
Oh, because of his number
yeah,
in baseball.
But I learned a whole lot. People forget Branch Rickey, also the guy that signed Jackie Robinson, also signed Roberto Clemente. They had so much of his, Puerto Rican heritage in there. They had a whole display of his baseball cards. They had a bunch of autographs from players that have been to the museum. They even had on loan Tim Wakefield's Roberto Clemente award
Super
that he
cool,
had. Yeah,
actually.
so that was very cool. It's very easy to just walk around. Every single inch of that place is just baseball. Even in the elevator, the handrail is a baseball bat.
Sick.
Yeah, so if you are ever in Pittsburgh, for the only reason you would be in Pittsburgh to see a Pirates game, I definitely highly recommend that. Thank you to our friend Sexboy for suggesting that, since I wouldn't have known about it otherwise. Sax
Boy.
Sax.
Alto sax
Alto
boy.
sax, yes.
Alto
And he also
sax
made the
boy.
Puerto Rico song on TikTok, so.
He made the Puerto Rico
He made
song?
the Puerto Rico song.
What's it about?
Puerto Rico.
Oh, shit.
Roberto Clemente.
Would you rather go to, now that you've experienced it, would you rather go to the Roberto Clemente Museum or the Baseball Hall of Fame?
I mean, Baseball Hall of Fame just has so much.
Sure.
Like, that's like a full day, where the Clemente Museum was probably like an hour and maybe change, where like I could be in the Baseball Hall of Fame literally from open
All
to
day,
close.
yeah.
Yeah, like if you wanted to, you could do that. So, actually, I want to go to the Baseball Hall of Fame more than I want to go to the Clemente. No. Yeah.
Adley Rutschman, come on the podcast.
Yeah, Adley,
please.
yeah. I want Adley to come on just so we can talk about I Think You Should
It would
Leave.
just
Yeah.
it would just be an hour of us quoting I Think You Should Leave.
As you know, as it already is.
What the fuck? I'm too far away from the button.
But of course, we went to the games
I'm
as
so
well.
sorry. Yeah, I'm
we
sorry for that.
I actually ended up going to all three. The rest of the friend group only. It was the first two. Had some really good seats, and what a beautiful ballpark!
One of your top 5, you said, right?
Easily top 5. I've been to 10 now, so I would have to actually go in and rank them, and I might even take Fenway off the list. Just out of bias,
Right.
you know, like
Your home ballpark.
I feel like I can't even properly rank that, even though it does rank high, because everything about the ballpark is great. So in terms of like the things that you're looking for, it's very accessible. You can take the bus. I think they even have some type of train system. We didn't use it. Even parking near there is super cheap. Like some of our friends parked in a garage for $8 right across the Clemente Bridge.
Oh, shit.
Yeah,
Boston
you're not
could never.
Boston, you couldn't even do that. Period.
Right.
Like that's just something that didn't exist. And we purposely the ones that Ubered there. Excuse me. We took the Uber across from across the Clemente Bridge, so we could actually walk over and experience the whole thing.
Sick.
So that was a lot of fun. There's a good amount of bars and restaurants nearby too, which is great. It's like right downtown. It's very accessible. And then the view there is just unbelievable. You get a great skyline with all of their 30 buildings. You know,
Sure. And that evil villain's lair.
Yeah, you get
that
the
they
evil
have.
villain's lair. You get a great view of the Clemente Bridge and the other twin bridges that they have out there. And then everything else at the ballpark's really great too. There wasn't a bad seat. We did sit in a few different places, and they even angled the seats towards the field. What a concept! I know.
What? I don't know if you're allowed to do
I know.
that.
The food there.
Yeah, so you
yeah.
had two notable meals that you posted
Yeah.
on our TikTok and Instagram as well. The first one was a cheese steak.
Yeah.
Cheesesteak?
And I think this was from like some local place called Perry's or something like that. I'm not 100% sure. Or Chicky Pete's or something like that.
Perry the platypus.
Yeah. It was very okay. It sure was ballpark food.
It's food.
Yeah. The fries that they had with the like crab sauce or whatever, very good. I
Okay.
enjoyed those. Chicken
Crab
tenders
fries.
were fine too. So not the best experience, and then the next night I did have some pierogies there.
Pierogi night.
I had to go on the hunt for these because the place I went to initially were sold out, so I had to go literally across the ballpark and then got some. But they were pretty good. I like when they have, something local. I like, pierogies, obviously. And it was a good amount of them, too, for good bang for your buck. And then one thing that I got for my fiance is
A pierogi.
Yeah, pierogi, of course. But they actually have full pints of ice cream there, which is a great concept.
Sick.
Yeah, like, and then
PNC pint?
and then on Sunday they have a promotion where if you get an ice cream cone, you can get it in an upside down traffic cone for what they had there. So that was a lot of fun. We did that nice little essentially free
What are
souvenir.
they promoting?
Yes, well, that's
Traffic?
like
Are
that's
they
like their
promoting
thing this
traffic cones?
yeah, well, that's like their bit this year, where they hold up a rally traffic cone, so people were bringing them into the ballpark and wearing traffic cone costumes. It's very Pittsburgh, since I guess there's a lot of traffic cones there. So,
Sure.
yep,
Okay.
they're having fun with it. So now this is gonna just be a part of our set. So all around, great ballpark. Highly recommended. Pittsburgh's not expensive either. Like, we got a pretty good
Shocker.
price for our Airbnb, and we're given that we were with 10 people and splitting it evenly, But you can have a nice long weekend there. You know how on vacation, a lot of times you're like, I could see myself living here. I never did have that moment with Pittsburgh. I never quite got there, but still fun. I would still recommend it to any baseball fan.
Would you go back for the only reason you'd ever go to Pittsburgh, a Red Sox Pirates game?
Yeah, I would. I would have to go back in a few years. I wouldn't even go back maybe next time in 2 years. I would do it in like 4 years or 6 years.
Sure.
And I would have to also probably like line it up with something else too. Like, let's say there's maybe a concert I want to go out there for.
Sure.
Since even on that last day, once a lot of our friends left, they had earlier flights. We were just like looking for stuff to do, and the cheapest thing ended up being the Pirates game. It was like $13 tickets for just to like get into the door.
Could never be Fenway Park.
Yeah, it could never be
Could
Fenway
never
Park.
be.
Sunday afternoon, just looking for something to do. Just get in the door. Spent more on a single beer than I did on the actual tickets. So, and then we did have one of the restaurants across the street before that, and it was very good. Some good drink options. And there was a lot of stuff going on the street, like right outside of the ballpark in terms of just like games and like different vendor booths and like that type of stuff. So they make it a whole experience, and they shut down the Clemente Bridge too, so everybody can walk across it, which is very cool. So highly recommend that part of it.
They seem to have put a lot of thought into like the baseball atmosphere of PNC.
Yeah, Pittsburgh, it's just sports. They don't care about anything else.
Sure.
Yeah.
The Steelers, right? And then what's their?
The Penguins.
Thank you. Do they
Yeah.
have basketball?
They
team
do not
too?
have a basketball. I double checked. I
Oh,
didn't.
gotcha. So they're Sixers
Yeah.
fans, I would think. 76ers.
Probably. They're not even that close to to
Philly.
Philly. Like, it's a 5-hour drive between, so you're probably more likely to just be like, even Detroit, I think, is closer, or like Cleveland's way closer.
Damn.
So yeah, you would probably even be more likely a Cavaliers fan if I had to guess.
Sure. Well, I mean, Sports Town sounds like they had a ton of fun with sports. Like,
Yeah.
I wouldn't say Fenway's the opposite, right? Like, they're not thoughtless at Fenway, but people will go to Fenway Park because it's Fenway Park.
Yeah.
Right. I'm happy to
And
hear
Fenway
that.
does rate high in terms of accessibility
Yeah.
and area around the ballpark and everything like that
Ballpark
too.
food's fine enough too.
Sure.
Sure.
That's
They're
my
not
dig.
pierogies.
That's my biggest dig at Fenway is the food options.
Yeah, it's not ballpark spaghetti. Well, I'm glad you had a good time. Maybe I'll go to Pittsburgh. Probably not, actually. I don't think the Red Sox play there anymore.
I mean, if you're like me and trying to do the full 30 stadiums, it's a very good one to cross off your list.
And you've done 10. at
I've
this
done
point.
10, yes. And
Sick.
2 of them are in DC because I include the old one as well. But yeah,
Then you
and
gotta
that one
do-
is easily the bottom. Rest in peace, RFK Stadium.
You got to do the LA ones then, too. All the
I do
California
got to do
ones.
the LA one. Almost all of them have been East Coast ones except for Colorado.
And
Wrigley.
Chicago.
And Wrigley, yeah,
Yeah.
of course, yeah.
Yeah. Well, I'm glad you had a good time. I'm glad that you enjoyed the pierogies. The Sox games probably were not as appetizing as the pierogies or the Clemente Museum.
Yeah. First night,
All bad.
yeah, pretty much all bad.
What'd we
Jake
get,
Bennett,
walloped?
he was kind of due for a stinker where he's yeah, there's growing pains, and it wasn't even like the worst thing in the world.
What a
either.
hard turn into oncoming traffic this was. Back to the Red Sox
Yeah,
game.
back to the
Man, that was rough.
Yeah, 4 innings, 4 runs, only 1 walk, 6 Ks. There was a home run mixed in there. ERA up to 3.46 on the season. So
good.
this is probably going to be more of the guy Jake Bennett is. I really enjoyed watching him. I even said earlier this year, I think he's a guy that you can factor into your rotation for next year even. But I don't want to overhype him either. This
Yep.
is a guy, kind of like in the same Connolly early boat where he's going to be your third, fourth, maybe fifth guy on a very good rotation. And that's great when you can have somebody that can hopefully pitch you a lot of innings. He's very confident. He's a location freak where he's not going to walk anybody and give you a good chance to win every day. But he's probably, not going to start you a playoff game on a very good rotation, kind of like what we have right now.
Yep.
Bullpen wasn't great this game. Moran did give up a few runs in there, gave up a homer. So that's going to happen sometimes too, especially when you're already trailing. You can't use Eric Miller. And we did see Garrett Whitlock and Justin Slayton hit the IL. So that's a big dig to your bullpen, losing both of those guys. But hey, even still, you have your closer in Chapman. Guerrero, other than that one game in Toronto, has been so good for you this season.
Sitting at 101, right?
Yeah,
It's
exactly.
insane.
So I'm not worried about him even with that blow up. And then, you have Eric Miller now, which is looking like a very good addition for the bullpen, who I've loved and I think will pitch a lot of meaningful innings in October. And then you can make it float with Greg and your long relievers and everybody else in there too.
Yeah.
At least in the meantime,
I
because when
guess,
everybody
I
was
guess.
healthy, Greg is not in your bullpen because you have so many dudes right now. And hey, when injuries are going to happen, I just want Whitlock and Slayton to be ready for the push in late September and October. Right now, I would rather have them kind of just rest up and be 100% for that compared to pushing them right now and then having them like fall apart in October.
I've been saying the same thing, right? Guys who need to rest them now. Very, very busy week for the IL and kind of the pathway between AAA and the major leagues. Slayton hit the IL. That's going to be tough, but again, your ball club barely has to perform 500. Whitlock also hit the IL. Would rather he be ready for late September, early October. Our boy, and this happened a bit later, but I think worth talking about now, Yoshida hitting the IL as well with a hamstring issue. That one really hurts.
Yeah.
I think he was my favorite guy to be in the DH role, at least the guy I trust the most to be in the DH role. And now you got to split that up. You got to platoon that a little bit. The response to all of these were guys that I expected as much as I hated. And you got Cavalry coming back, and I'm almost excited for the Cavalry. It's like that meme, right? Send nudes. Or send dudes. Oh, you mean nudes? No, dudes. I'm in a fight.
Literally.
So it'll be nice to get some of those guys back. But, coming back from injury, you got to kind of stagger them back into the full-time lineup and the full-time rotation. So two big guys out of the bullpen. Yoshida getting hurt sucks. And Jahmai Jones, as of, 10 minutes before we had started, had been scratched with a hip issue. And that DH spot, I mean, at least for tonight, did they say who was going to go DH if Jahmai Jones isn't doing it?
It's going to probably be somewhat of a rotating right now since you don't really have that true bat that you're going to DH other than that. Since once Roman comes back, I'm sure there's going to be some times where he just DHs to get the bat in there and all the outfielders. And then you'll also have hopefully Monasterio maybe DHing a bit too, since the defense can be up and down to say the least.
The bat's been stellar.
Yeah, the bat's been stellar. The bat can play a DH though.
Yes.
Yeah. He is a guy who I would love to designate just to hitting.
Hit a
yeah.
baseball. Yeah.
So you'll have some options once guys come back. Story should be back by the end of the week, he's saying. I kind of want him to just get some more at bats.
Take your time, pal.
Take your time. Yeah, you have been out for over 2 months. I don't want the same thing to happen with Adley happen to Story, where, Adley probably could have used another 2 games or whatever just to kind of get his swing back and, be able to see the ball before, seeing major league pitching. So hopefully we see the Trevor Story of late last year and not early this year.
Yeah.
And hey, who knows? Maybe he was playing bad because he was hurt and now he's all better. IKF coming back too. Same thing, probably been about as long. And, IFK, fine player. Is it really going to make a huge difference? Maybe not. Maybe he does. It just being around.
Sure.
Probably would take him over Siegler right now, even.
I would.
Yeah, but probably over Nick Sogard, even though he's looked pretty good, too. Monasterio, you can play him all over. You can DH him, so those guys are going to help. And then, obviously, Roman coming back, that's going to be the big one. I wouldn't be surprised if they try to give him almost the full rehab, just given he's been out essentially the whole year.
Yes.
Like, he has been out since April. Alex Cora was the manager the last time Roman Anthony played, I believe. Yeah.
Yes, very, very true.
Yeah. So that just get him ready, get him right, get him here for October. We'll see what happens with the outfield in the meantime. So it's good having those dudes come back. Hopefully we get Garrett Crochet back at one point too, just in the bullpen. Doesn't sound like they're even gonna try to start him. At this point.
Which fair.
Why would you?
Yeah.
Like there's no point in trying to build them up to 6 innings when you could just. When you do already have a great rotation.
If you get 20 bullets at 98 miles an hour, I will absolutely take that.
Yeah, I've been saying this for a while now, just that David Price role, but the guys are coming back, and hopefully Whitlock, Slayton, everybody else does. And it'll be interesting to see, if everybody is healthy and available for October, knock on wood.
Knock on wood, right.
Yeah, how the roster would shake out, since there might be some tough decisions in that case.
There definitely will be. I've been putting so much thought into what the options, what the potential DFAs are going to look like when you get a fully.
And there's some. I was looking at the 40 man. There's some dead.
There's some. Yeah.
There's some guys who could cut tomorrow, and I would not think anything twice of.
Yeah.
But
one guy we've been seeing a lot lately. One guy they had called up when we got those injuries was, as Zach says in the chat, our guy Burgos, who, from what I've been seeing, has been nothing but effective so far. I kind of like it. I kind of like Raymond Burgos. I enjoy Raymond Burgos.
I'm enthusiastic about him. I mean, what he was able to do on Sunday, since that game, we knew there was going to be some weather issues.
Yep.
And Patrick Sandoval pooped his pants.
He did. Well, did it not occur to you that a little blister on your left toe hurt a bit?
Yeah.
It hurt. It hurt your toe when you have blisters.
I know. So I'm hoping it's just the one bad stinker, because he has been pretty effective in his other starts. Yeah. It was kind of, sometimes you're due just for a pooper in there, especially from your 5th/6th guy that will probably not be on the postseason roster if everything's going right.
From a year and a half of recovery from, was it Tommy John that he had officially had? So.
Yeah. Counting on Patrick Sandoval doing too great, but yeah, getting back to the hero of this game, Raymond Burgos. Coming, being the mop-up guy. We talked about it last week where he pitched 3 innings back-to-back days, and this might even be more impressive, where he pitched 2 innings in relief, waited 2.5 hours during a rain delay, and then pitched another 2 innings, and I think only gave up 1 run in there.
Ball is life for that guy.
This is just a guy where he's been, a journeyman throughout his career. He's, a little bit older, and just enjoying and doing anything that he can to be in the major leagues right now. And he is, getting optioned, and he's staying on the 40 man, and who knows, maybe, like I said earlier, he's going to be a game 162 hero, pitching all 9 innings on 385 pitches, and his arm will fall off, and then he'll be like Peter Parker and Spider-Man, where everybody's carrying him off the field, jersey ripping off, Campbell, he's a hero. That's gonna be Raymond Burgos.
Raymond Burgos is going to be Spider-Man from Spider-Man when Spider-Man almost dies.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
Saving the train, I believe.
Saving the train.
He's just a kid.
He's just sad when they go out young like that.
Yeah.
I've liked what I've seen from Raymond Burgos. I don't know. I think he has an opportunity to make a case for himself, I guess. You're going to have a really stacked rotation of bullpen.
I was gonna say
in the
there's
postseason.
gonna be a roster crunch eventually where you are gonna have to say goodbye to our sweet boy, but the sacrifice of Raymond Burgos will live in Red Sox lore forever. At
Forever.
This point, yeah. This is gonna be a true sicko once like
True
people
sicko.
like remember
Immaculate
Raymond
Grid
Burgos,
legend.
Immaculate Grid legend, even though he's only played for one other team. So
Right.
yeah.
Alec Gamboa is probably going to be one of those guys too, who's been effective. Might be a game 162 hero, maybe like fringe postseason roster spot, but
I
stuck
could
in the
actually
crunch.
see them holding on to Gamboa. He's a little younger. You have options on him too because
sick.
I believe he was pitching in Korea before this.
He was.
Yeah, and you had Tyron Guerrero pitching in Japan last year. So shout out to our international scouting for finding these guys on minor league deals because they're giving you production right now.
Which is awesome. And I know we still have to like clean up the rest of the games that we have, but as far as guys that are available, Cavalry coming back, and then I think we'll near the end of the episode talk about like guys that might be worth a call up.
Yeah.
Where does some of the roster crunch happen with some of the guys you're currently looking at?
There's guys like Zue Lin, or not Zue Lin, sorry, Chase Shong Chang.
Sung Che Chang?
Yeah.
Wow, you're starting to sound
I
like
know.
Tom
I got,
Karen right
I got
now.
Tom Karen.
We
I
have
got Tom
Daisuke
Karen.
Matsuzaka.
Yeah. Oh, that was so funny. I feel
Yeah.
bad for Tom, especially like during a 2.5 hour rain delay. That should have just never happened anyways. That
Also,
game,
yeah,
that game
someone-
should have just been. That game should have just been called. Like
Also-
I was already at the airport. Like I went on a bus from downtown Pittsburgh to the airport, got through security, got a beer and chicken wings, all before the game got resumed. So, no reason that game had to be resumed. The Red Sox were not coming back.
I
It is
will
fine.
physically not allow Tom Karen to get canceled. If
Yeah,
anyone
no.
tries to cancel him, I will shut them up. with
Yeah,
my
no,
fists.
so-
Also, like, he was probably reading the teleprompter or whatever note was given to him,
Yeah.
right? Like, I love Tom Karen. You can't cancel
Yeah,
him. and
you,
if
you
try,
could
I'll
you
kill
could already DFA Wyatt Olds, who we called up today too. So
Oh,
there's,
yeah.
there's
Sure.
guys. I'm looking right now.
Wyatt
you
the
do-
beach that turns
Yeah,
you
if you
olds.
do need a DFA Raymond, you can. Sorry, Bart, you didn't hear that.
I think Siegler goes down. I think Siegler's
Siegler you can
pretty
option.
quickly
You could
going down.
DFA Brett Harris. Who cares?
Who?
Yeah, exactly. Oh, you have. I forgot about Curtis Mead, who might come back at one point too. So there's guys that you can. I'm not too worried about it. I'm not worried about it.
I'm not worried about it. There's plenty of fat that you can trim to make room for these guys.
Yeah.
And we'll get to more of that in a little bit because we got some rising stars too. But with the rest of the Pirate series, to hard turn back into traffic, you had one win in there.
And that one was fun.
Was it fun?
Yeah, it was.
that was the
it was
game
the
we had
Sonny Gray
won.
start. Yeah,
Sure.
Willier home run, 2 doubles in
Who's
there,
catching some heat.
Yeah,
I'm psyched.
Yeah, no, glad to see him really turning into that full star that we've seen flashes of.
Knock on wood,
yeah.
right? If he keeps the momentum.
We
but he
really
has
should have
been
just
stellar
blown the
lately.
doors out of this game. There was a point where runners on second and third and no outs, and you didn't score any there. There's plenty of opportunities where you had leadoff guys on, but finally able to break it open in the ninth. You still did use Chapman because you haven't been able to use him much of the last week. And then, we basically already talked about that last game of the series. We don't need to talk about that.
Yeah, absolute pooper.
We're running 3-0 right now, so hopefully that holds up.
Well, I mean, let me go over the last game of the series real quick. You had a big Wong ding dong.
You did. Yeah, he almost
did.
tried to kill me with it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm proud of you for surviving the big Wong ding
Thank
dong.
you. Yeah.
What is that? 3 or 4 for him on the year now?
It is now 4 for him, I believe.
I am happy with Connor Wong. I think he's here to stay for the time being.
I like him more than Mickey Gasper.
I don't know where I've had such contempt for Mickey Gasper, but I had a visceral reaction to him being called up. For
I know.
Yoshida.
I would have just called up Campbell. Like, just see what you got.
I'm saying,
Yeah.
dude. I'm saying.
Because, like, I don't know how you're going to enter in an offseason, like, not knowing if he can hit major league pitching or not. And, like, worst case, like, you can say to another, if he does well, you can even, like, say to another team, like, hey, well, you know, it's not that much money, you know? Like,
It's for $60 million.
yeah,
It's nothing.
Exactly. And whatever. So, if we didn't see him now, I'm not sure we see him for the rest of the year. I think it would have done well for his confidence, even just being up in the majors, even if he did struggle a little bit. And I think that's the reason why they didn't. They didn't want to ruin his confidence now that it's finally getting, you know, positive again, and he is hitting the shit out of the ball. So,
Yeah.
Mickey Gasper does nothing for me.
I agree.
He's your third catcher that you call up in September.
Wow.
You know?
If you're saying that about Mickey Gasper, then you're saying that about his parents.
Yeah, sucks that you lost Jake Rogers too. Would have liked to somehow keep him.
Rake Rogers.
They definitely were trying their hardest to find some alternative. And
I'm sure
White
they
Sox,
did.
Yeah,
I'm sure.
No,
they
like
did, but-
literally, like on that Monday it was just like 6:35, like 30 minutes before the game. They're like, yeah, I guess we just. Yeah, liked him too. Not gonna lose any sleep either at the end of the day, but he would have been a good third string catcher.
There are more guys to talk about, but before we get to that, you very clearly wanted to mention hashtag sideways for Sonny.
Yes, sideways for Sonny. My new favorite trend. He's been doing great. I hope we see it more at the ballpark. Should have mentioned that first time around for Sonny, but yeah.
Yeah. So as far as call him up goes, I think Campbell's worth another look,
Yeah.
especially if you just had two hitters go down. Give Campbell a call. See if he can play the outfield too. Why the fuck not? See if he can hit major league pitching. Angel or Angel Bastardo has been throwing really, really well. Is he a guy worth calling right now?
I think so. You did call up Wyatt Olds today, and he's a total burner dude, kind of like Seth Martinez earlier this week. Not even worth talking about him, but I think, you know, they're probably going to be okay with DFAing him. I think they called him up just to be an emergency length guy today. Hopefully Brian Bayo, who's pitching well, you know, as we speak, continues. Obviously super great out of the bullpen, but I think they wanted that emergency guy. And now that, you know, you do have Whitlock and Slayton out, I think you need to have maybe somebody that gives you more of a chance at high leverage. We saw with Tyron Guerrero earlier this year where he was forcing their hand to call him up.
Yep.
And I think Bastardo's kind of getting in that conversation
point.
right now. So I wouldn't be surprised if we see him. And then obviously the guy that everybody's talking about and debating about.
Yeah, well,
And then what we named the episode about. Yeah, we'll go a few minutes over here, but
Called the stream Franklin time.
yeah.
Why'd you call it that, Jack?
Yeah, so we have passed the point where if you did call up Franklin Arias, you would still have the full 6 years after this. So now is kind of the time where a lot of teams are calling up these dudes and to kind of see what they're at. So it's a healthy debate because Red Sox production at shortstop has been bad this year. We're 25th out of 30th in the majors in terms of
wow, that's not
production
good.
at shortstop
That's
this
pretty
season.
not good.
You've gotten some, you know, production out of Monasterio. He's not a shortstop though. Let's be real here. He can play second. He can play.
I do want to tell you this because it might blow your mind. Last year in 200 plus innings at shortstop, Andrew Monasterio was 0 across the board in defense, was
Yeah.
completely average in defense, which is so different from this year. He's what, -7, -8 DRS at
Negative
shortstop?
9 outs above average at shortstop this
Oh,
year.
ouch.
I believe negative 13 all around, which is in the first percentile.
For bad.
Yeah, so he is going to be a great designated hitter down the stretch here.
Yeah.
He's probably your best option there. You do have Trevor Story coming back. How confident do you feel in that, though?
Well, how confident do I feel in it, or how confident am I that the team is going to play him every day for some reason?
Yeah, this is a team that was desperate to find a shortstop at the trade deadline. They clearly do not trust Trevor Story that much.
Yeah. Well, he's been on the field for less than 1 of his 5 total years here, right?
Yeah. And
not
yeah, a lot
healthy.
of the production when he is on the field, other than really the second half of last year, it's been pretty bad his entire time in Boston.
Yep.
It's pretty much you can already call it a failure of a contract, I think. Not the worst one. It's not even up there with like Pablo Sandoval or someone like that, but I can't.
Crawford.
It's not gonna. Yeah, Carl Crawford. It's not gonna be looked at fondly at this point in Boston. It's whatever. It's not the worst one in the world, but. They are apparently saying that he's going to be the guy, but it's hard when you have this guy that looks ready, and I get the debate of you're worried about next year too, because if you don't add him to the 40 man, then you are able to play him in minor league games. But I think if you're worried about that, you're losing track of the big picture. I think Frank's the guy that can help you this year, help you in October as well, especially in an area where you have been struggling. And worst case, that glove is still going to play, and we have been missing that a lot at shortstop for this season. Really, everywhere else on the diamond has been great except for that position. So I think he can help you out in a lot of ways, and it helps going into the offseason if you do need to go out there and get a shortstop, or if Frank's going to be your guy, because I also have a hard time just saying that he is going to be your everyday shortstop next year without any experience either. So I think I'm leaning towards the side of calling him up.
You knew I was going to be your boss fight in this,
Yeah.
right? You knew I was going to be the boss fight. I would ask you, and again, I'll be sensitive to time and sensitive to everyone else's ideals.
And we still got it. We'll do a quick mustard.
Oh, we got to do mustard. What problem does Arias solve right now?
Defense and offense at short? Or not really offense at short, but the defense at short has been really bad.
So is that a problem that IKF or Chang could not solve right now?
IKF, I know he's positive there. I like him just as a bench player and can kind of move all around a little bit. And the bat is legit too.
He had a 178 WRC plus in the month of June.
Yeah.
Before he, started getting hurt and went on the IL.
Yeah.
He was doing fantastic.
Yeah. So Chang, I mean, if you wanted him to play shortstop right now and give you a gold, a positive glove there, you could. But I think it's also part to see what you have in store too. And when you talk about a high potential, this guy, you saw it in 2013 with Xander Bogaerts, where they called him up and he was a contributor in October. And I think Frank can be that same type of caliber of player. You're talking about, somebody that's a top 5 prospect across every single list. And I think, there's no reason why you shouldn't try to put your best team or most athletic team on the field.
How long was Bogaerts in AAA?
Not very long. And the Red Sox also did pretty much skip Benintendi, Moncada,
Devers,
either completely skipped or moved a little bit there. I do remember Bogaerts was started 2013 in AAA, so the Red Sox, have treated AAA kind of like a taxi squad. They did leave Frank down in AA, where there's a lot more development down there for a bit too. So I think now that you've seen that he can at least hit AAA and quadruple A pitching, that you
quadruple A,
that you do know what you have in him.
After a month?
Honestly, yes. Yeah.
You think a month is enough?
I mean, you have the whole year. You do have the whole year where
Yeah.
AA is the lines are starting to blur a little bit more now that you have guys in AA and AAA throwing high 90s, which like even 10, 20 years ago you didn't have. Now there is a lot more better pitching down in the minor leagues than ever before. So and you can track things, like exit velocity and, quality of contact. And he grades out really well in a lot of those types of things. So I don't see any reason why it wouldn't translate to the major leagues.
It'll be interesting to see what they do with him this year, because obviously there's like the administrative logistical bullshit with like if you were to call him up and what that means for next year and his service time and all that shit. And then at the same time, you're right. He has been producing really well in AAA. It's a matter of whether or not the organization sees him as solving the shortstop problem right now, or not. So
if you don't think Frank is your shortstop of the future, I think they would have traded him at the deadline.
I'm glad
and they were
didn't.
and they were looking for shortstops, but I think, there was a line where, like, if you weren't getting Otto Lopez or Zach Neto, then it wasn't worth it because then you trust Frank as that guy.
Yeah, I mean, even then, I would have moved Neto over to second. But
Yeah. Maybe not mid-season, but at least for next year.
Yeah.
And if you did get Neto without having to give up Frank, then I would be fine with just keeping Frank off, because you do have your solution there, but I'm not sure that solution's quite on the roster or even
Story
coming
in
out.
IKF doesn't feel like the solution to you this year?
No.
No?
No. IKF maybe, but are we really counting on the $6 million man to be our shortstop
Hey,
in
I
October?
love the $6 million man.
I like him too, but really, like, come on. Like, IKF has been our most productive shortstop this year, and that's derogatory.
And
that's shame on everybody else.
So, okay, so I have a weird question for you. Again, I get we're a few minutes over time. Can you add a man to your postseason roster without adding him to, like, your regular season 40-man roster?
No, you would have to add him to your 40 man.
Gotcha.
And
See-
I'm not if they don't call Frank up soon, then I would flip-flop where, like, I don't want him to be called up on, like, September 15th.
For, like, 2 weeks of baseball.
For, like, 2 weeks. Yeah, that really is the worst of both worlds. You only call him up if he is going to be your guy, down the stretch and in October. You're getting him every day at bats. You're, trusting him to take the keys to the car, since obviously they did not trust Marcelo Meyer with that. Yeah.
Why? What happened?
Yeah. So I would very much enjoy seeing Frank. I'm about 50-50 on if it actually happens, though. I think I could see it either way.
I think there is a potential where you do call up Frank. I think it's a possibility that exists. I wouldn't deny that. I would love to see Campbell this year. I would love to see Frank this year if they can figure it out. But, to me...
Campbell's going to be hard once Roman comes back, because then
Yeah.
you already have so many outfielders.
Yeah.
Maybe if Jahmai Jones is hurt, then maybe that is finally the thing that brings up Campbell. But I thought they would have done it for Yoshida, so maybe they just don't want to.
Yeah, well, you don't really have 4 outfielders right now. For Arias, like I said, I don't see what problem he solves right now, but I'm not opposed to seeing him in the major leagues, so that'll be curious. Christian Campbell, why not? The quality of contact he's getting right now is fantastic, and you are now actively missing a 4th outfielder.
Yeah.
Like, put him
you
out
do
there.
have Eli White. And
I always forget about Eli
Yeah.
White, the second most forgettable person in baseball,
Yeah.
right behind 2-time Cy Young winner Blake Snell, who I always forget about all the
Yeah.
time. But we are a few minutes over. We have a lot of guys coming up that I'm sure we'll talk about more, but maybe it's time for a little bit of mustard. Let's.
I got it.
Hold on, I'm getting.
Okay.
Wait, you got it? You do it.
I got it.
A little extra mustard.
A little extra mustard. Quite a weird week for mustard, considering how much we fucking lost this week. But, I feel pretty good about my mustard pick. How about yourself?
Good. I think I went first last week, so I
Okay,
think,
cool.
yeah.
Then I'm going to go Raymond Burgos is going to be my mustard pick. You let me go first, idiot. Raymond Burgos is my mustard pick. The bourgeoisie, as our buddy Zach would call him. He's been pitching well. He waited 2.5 hours in the rain, came back and pitched some more. Raymond Burgos got up, performed, sat down, got back up, and performed some more. And I think he gave, returning to the mound, a little extra mustard. Your turn, idiot. Who gave it mustard?
We established we can pick the same
If
person,
you
so
pick
Raymond
Burgos- No. You
Raymond
can't say that.
Burgos,
No, you can't
2
say
weeks
that.
in a row is my mustard pick.
Why, Jack? Why is Raymond Burgos your mustard pick?
Because he listened to the TikTok that our friend Sox Bard made.
Stared at a painting in a museum for 47 minutes, screaming, "This isn't right!" before they kicked him out.
That's not how it happened.
That's not. I'm happy with Raymond Burgos. Gonna be, like you said, one of those Sox legends that
Yeah.
we might not see too much of.
I'm
but-
getting his jersey.
Does he have a jersey?
I mean, yes, he does have a jersey. A number
Again,
and everything.
used Raymond Burgos
Yeah.
jersey. I'd wear that. That'd go
Yeah.
hard.
Wilson homered, by the way.
Oh,
So,
let's
yeah,
go.
5-0.
What's the score right now?
5-0.
As oh, 5-0?
Yeah, I'll take that.
We're
Then-
winning, though, right?
Yeah, so if you're listening to this, we are winning this game.
We're
man.
from the
Yeah,
past.
I absolutely worry about that now in the morning when
What?
people are listening. If we don't end up winning this game.
Oh, yeah.
Anyways, yeah.
Yeah, we're the ghost of Christmas past.
Yep.
Wonderful week of talking baseball. And anything else you want to add to our lovely listeners? Or
We'll be back
Baseball?
next Monday.
Yeah.
I got plans on Sunday. It's the lady's birthday.
yeah, you
so-
got a special birthday.
Yeah.
Well, I'm so glad we're
no,
here.
no, we're not- yeah.
I'm no. Shut up.
Yeah.
Shut up. Okay, shut up. Okay, shut up. Bye.